beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is all about the changes that are coming for you in February of 2020. So these changes may be external changes, they may be internal changes. What they all have in common is the fact that you did not anticipate them to happen. So in order to help you prepare for these changes that are coming into your life, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So just pick whichever group that you feel resonates with you, and pick whichever crystal that you really feel like you vibe with. So the 4 crystals are as follows. We have the Sodalitic blue quartz, we have the black tourmaline, we have the tiger eye, as well as the orchid calcite. And in order to help you be able to fast forward to your reading without having to watch the entire video, I have prepared timestamps that are in the description box of this video, as well as pinned to the comment section. So once you have chosen your group, you can just click your corresponding timestamp and the video will fast forward to where your reading begins. And apart from the timestamps, there are of course other fun links down below in my description box. We got free downloadables, we have my online store, so make sure that you check anything out that may pique your interest. So as you guys know by now, I like to get straight to the point. I don't like to waste too much time within the intro. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Sodalitic blue quartz, and to all the other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Sodalitic blue quartz. So this is a really gorgeous gem. It is kind of like a calming stone. So if you've been having a lot of anxiety, that may be why you ended up choosing this gem. But I want to move straight into your reading to figure out exactly what changes are coming for you in February of 2020. So we have the 4 of Wands as well as the 6 of Pentacles. So one thing that I see here that is a big change that you're maybe not really used to, especially if you have been feeling a little bit anxious, is the fact that there is more stability coming into your life and kind of like almost this meditative state. So as you can see here in the 6 of Pentacles, we have some gorgeous woman or man sitting here and just meditating, just in a state of bliss, of mental equilibrium. And in the 4 of Wands, obviously, you know, the number 4 is a very stable number. So not to call you out or anything, group number 1, but stability. And you're kind of going to be in shock because you're going to think to yourself, who am I? What is this weird feeling? I don't even know what stability is anymore. And group number 1, I want you to know that that is nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes when you experience real emotions of, for instance, a genuine friendship or true love, you think to yourself, wow, I'm so embarrassed that I did not know what this was. Prior to this experience, I thought that my toxic relationships were fine at the time. I thought that I was meant to be chasing people and feeling like I'm not valuable. And then all of a sudden, something happens in your life where you realize your worth and you realize that you've been doing it wrong all along. So I want you to know that that realization is a blessing and should be seen as a blessing and not as an opportunity for you to beat yourself up, group number 1, okay? So I'm calling you out on that. Don't be hard on yourself like you usually would. Then we have the Queen of Wands as well as the 9 of Pentacles. So in the Queen of Wands, I definitely see that there is a lot of energy here that makes you want to go out and do things. And in the 9 of Pentacles, I can see that that relates to the earthly realms, okay? So this could be trying to get to the next step in your job. This could be trying to make sure that you make enough time for yourself, for self-care, which are all really amazing changes. So the fact that more stability, you know, emotional stability, mental stability is coming into your life is inspiring you to take more care of your needs, as well as to take more action towards things that are going to change your life for the better. So this is really amazing change, group number 1, that is happening internally. Then we have the Hermit as well as the Traveler. So we were just talking about some internal changes that are happening in February, but on the external realms, one thing that I see here in the 2 cards that we just added, I see here in the Hermit the fact that you will be a little bit more complacent when it comes to, you know, your self-care. You will do self-care at home. You're not really going to go out for that. So that means meditation, that means taking long baths. And that means just, you know, taking time to be in your own zone, in your own space, rather than say going out to a spa, going out to, I don't know, a nail studio or to a place to get a massage. You are going to be focused more on doing this in your space, okay? So very close to home. In the Traveler, one thing that I see here is that one of the changes that are also happening externally is that you're physically moving into a new direction after your self-care, okay? So your self-care is something that you're doing where you feel comfortable, where you feel at home, but then getting out of your comfort zone is happening geographically in a different place. So in a new city, you know, going out to new places, exploring new things, and this kind of change can be kind of scary if you're used to doing everything with people that you know, but this change is something that has to come from you alone and is something that other people cannot really support you in, because sometimes there are certain things that you just know you have to do by yourself. Like for instance, if you have agoraphobia or just really bad anxiety and it's hard for you to get out there, it's hard for you to put yourself in a situation where you're alone, where your environment is completely new, where you're moving into this new direction, but you know that you can't bring somebody along, because then once again, you're feeding into that codependency of the safety blanket of having somebody else there with you. So that is what I mean by doing things alone. Obviously, this is just an example, but apply this to your life and your fears and know that this is a change that is taking place in February of 2020 within your life. Then we have blessings, we have forgiveness, we have focus, as well as freedom. So group number 1, I see really great news for you, okay? So in blessings, one thing that I see here is that stepping out of this zone that you feel, I don't want to always say, you know, comfort zone, because this is not just a comfort zone. This is just like your home base. This is where you feel like you're kind of like protected. Stepping out of that and being vulnerable is going to come with a lot of blessings as well as forgiveness. There's a reason why these 2 cards have showed up in your reading, and it is all to demonstrate to you that when you face things that are scary, you know, when you get out of this space where you feel like you're seemingly safe, when you're mentally kind of stable enough to go out of there, to not freak out, to not have a panic attack, that is when true blessings come, and that is when you can really realize what you're actually capable of, you know? So realizations are part of your February, as well as just the fact that you will feel like this newfound freedom is going to be able to make you focus a lot more, because when we're always in a state of being stressed out, when we're always being in a state of doubt, self-doubt, it is really, really hard to actually focus on anything, because our brain is constantly in this fight or flight kind of situation, and that is not normal, okay? That is something that we have grown to think is normal, but constantly being stressed is not in fact normal, and it slows down your brain. It makes it very hard to take in new information, and that is why maybe in school, if there was a teacher that was really mean to you, or if there was just a situation at your work where you felt bullied and you found that it was really hard for you to put out excellent work or to score well in tests, I want you to know that this is all due to the fact that your brain was in this fight or flight response because you were stressed. Your brain was so preoccupied with the stress that you were unable to take in any new information and really process it and then actually perform. So if this is something that you're familiar with, if this is something that you have experienced, leave a little star emoji down below to let me know that you made it to this point in the video and that you can relate and understand. But as I said here, you will free yourself of that feeling in a certain situation that you're trapped in, and then your focus can be regained and you can put out better work and just feel more at ease in that situation. Then we have the 8 of Swords, we have the 7 of Swords, as well as the Princess of Wands. So I see here in this sword energy, this is very intellectual energy, this is air sign kind of energy. So I see you solving a problem in a very eloquent way, and you just kind of like allowing your intuition and your gut feeling to lead you. So usually you may be a little bit more rational, especially if you're of an air sign, but I see that in February, you're going to let your emotions really push you through and carry you along the way a lot more than you usually have. And in the Princess of Wands, you know, we have the Queen of Wands, we have the Princess of Wands. There is a good possibility for somebody of a fire sign to enter your life, group number 1. And this is somebody who is fun, who brings in a lot of adventurous energy, and who most likely will inspire you to move into a new direction. So coming in contact with somebody who inspires you and who gives you a new sort of flame and zest for life can truly change your outlook as well as your mindset. So be open to connecting with somebody, be open to making that new friendship, that new bond, maybe even that romantic potential that is there, and allowing that to really give you the inspiration and see how other people are living and how other people are thriving, and then know that you can do the exact same. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you regarding the changes that are coming in February of 2020. You have a lot of internal changes coming for you as well as external changes that you should be excited about. So I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading and that you found it insightful, maybe even a little motivational, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the black Tourmaline group number 2. So this is a very protective stone. It can protect you against EMF, and it's just overall kind of like a stone that likes to clear out negativity, which is maybe something that you've been dealing with recently, and that may be the reason why you felt drawn to this stone. But let's move into your reading, shall we? First and foremost, we have the Chariot as well as the Six of Swords. So one thing that I see here is that within your life in February of 2020, you will be moving into a completely new space, okay? I see kind of like realignment when it comes to the things that you own, the things that you like, and just moving into a new space. So can you see this kind of like a joyful jolt forward? That is what I see for your life, group number 2. So all of a sudden you'll have, say, enough money, enough time, enough energy and courage to move into this direction that you've been wanting to move into for a long time, but you've been feeling conflicted about. And that is one thing that I see in the Six of Swords. I see that sort of like challenge, that internal battle has been solved, and things are moving in one direction, okay? Things are pointing towards the same route, the same journey, because sometimes you want something which is pointing down this way, but you feel like what you have, the resources that you have are not enough, and then your mind, your heart is kind of pointing towards this way because you think to yourself, well, I'm not really sure if I can, but I want to, but I don't think I can. You know what I mean? This sort of like indecisiveness that in the end just keeps you complacent, because when you're pulled in this direction, you move a little towards there, then you're pulled in that direction, so you're never really moving forward. But I see realignment in February of 2020, which makes it easy for you to leap forward and have fun with the situation and think to yourself, yes, this is the right moment for it. Then we have the Knight of Cups as well as the Tower. So one thing that I see here is that somebody may enter your life in February of 2020 who is represented in the Knight of Cups, okay? And cups stand for water signs. Cups are very emotional. Cups are emotionally intelligent. And one thing that I see here in the Tower is that that person may completely change your worldview and the way you've seen things up until this point of your life. So this person may all of a sudden enlighten you about, for instance, your diet. They may talk to you about veganism and how that can really have an impact on the planet, which I would definitely recommend for anybody. You don't have to be full vegan, but try and incorporate more plant-based meals if you care about the planet. Just a little side note there. Then furthermore, one thing that I see here is just the fact that you will feel almost like there is internal conflict, and not because that person is doing something negative to you, but because they're opening your eyes. So this could also be you watching a documentary where somebody really touches you. This Knight of Cups really sort of touches your heart and your soul and gets you to a point where you think to yourself, wow, I can't believe that I've lived without this information, but I want to embrace it now, and I want to make the most out of this new knowledge, even if it means that everything that I believed was right prior to this moment has to be rewritten and kind of like redone, okay, rephrased. Then we have the Queen of Cups as well as the Five of Cups. So we have a lot of emotional energy here, as I was talking about in the water signs. You may be a water sign, and if you're a water sign, then you really get this conflict that I'm speaking about here in the Five of Cups, where you feel like emotionally almost like you want to beat yourself up for the fact that you didn't come to a realization earlier of what you could have done to improve your life. But I want you to know in the Queen of Cups that you have a lot of potential to be that person who is emotionally secure and strong as well as mature. And the only sort of thing that makes sense for you to do in February of 2020 is to look at the positives and to look at all of the knowledge that you will have gained by the end of that month and how that can change your life so much and give you extra sort of drive and kick to move towards your goals and your dreams, okay? So don't beat yourself up. I know that emotionally it will be challenging, it will be difficult, but at the same time, know that this is not something that you haven't overcome or conquered before. There's nothing new happening in February emotionally that leaves you in a situation where you don't know how to deal. You've dealt with this before, group number 2. But the thing is, like, you're trying to let yourself fall off the bandwagon because obviously it's easier to fall into old habits rather than to create new ones. But you have to be strong. You have to embrace your Queen of Cups energy and to push through and be mature and know that if you want positive change to happen in your life, you need to start thinking differently. You need to start waking up as a different person, because if you wake up as the same person day in, day out, nothing's going to change in your life. You know, things are just going to always be the same. So in order to improve and in order to move forward, you have to be the change. You have to start that chain reaction of different actions, of different emotional responses that can get you closer to where you would like to be in life. Then we have the Peacekeeper as well as the Sage. Okay, so I need to talk to you, group number 2. There's a reason why you guys call me the queen of calling you out, okay? And I'm not trying to be snaky here. If you made it to this point in the video, by the way, leave a little snake emoji down below just to let me know and just, you know, to say hello, hi, that you're still here. So speaking about snakes, I want you to know that I'm not a snake, but I need to let you know, okay? I don't want to go behind your back and say anything about you, group number 2. I'm going to tell you straight to your face. So in the Peacekeeper, I want you to know here that a situation is going to arise with a friend, with a family member, where you want to be right, okay? And you do not want to let go of that. I see here that in the Sage, you're very devoted and committed to teach this person a lesson once and for all, because maybe they constantly say that they will do one thing, but they do another, or they constantly promise you things that never end up happening. And you're just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to tell them that it's not okay. I want to make sure that I leave this conversation with that person knowing that I am right and that they need to stop being ignorant or lying or doing whatever it is that they're doing. But group number 2, I just want you to know that there's no point in that, okay? In the Peacekeeper, I see that it would be most beneficial for you to let go of any arguments, any fights, and for you to not allow that to get to you, okay? Because once you allow that to get to your ego, this need of being right, you become irrational, you become crazy, and in every argument, it is just important for you to leave that argument successfully. But you don't even notice like what kind of damage you may have caused in the process of trying to be right. And that is one thing that I see here in correlation to the Tower. So align that part of you with what you truly want, which is obviously harmony. As I can see within your reading, you want alignment and to move forward. And the only way that you can do that is if also in your personal life, when people are trying to test your patience, to just kind of like allow them to push the button, that you unplug the button, okay? You deactivate that button. That big red button is not working when it comes to your life. That is the kind of attitude we need, group number 2. Then we have adventures as well as courage. So in February of 2020, I see that going on adventures is going to take courage out of you, but the courage is there, okay? I just want you to know here that through traveling, through seeing other people's way of life, through seeing other cultures, other places, you really open up your horizon, okay? You expand the way you see life, which is why travel is so important. It's one of the best investments that you can make. So if you're thinking of going somewhere, of booking a trip, do so, and make sure that you put a budget in the trip to see different things that can really expand the way you think, the way you see the world, and that you budget less money, less financial means towards partying, alcohol, food, etc. You can eat really simply and just travel in a very, very simple way while still seeing a lot of things, while still soaking up a lot of culture. So make sure that you make that the focus of your travel and your adventures, because that is really what you need right now. Then we have a trust as well as going forward. So as we spoke about in the Chariot, February of 2020 is really the month of moving forward rapidly for you this year. And I want you to know that in going forward, that the path will seem like it's laid out, okay? You won't have any questions about where you're moving towards. You're just going to be, you know, focused on the actual movement. And as I said, the path is laid out. I want you to trust. That is one thing that is really important. And there's a reason why this has showed up in your reading. And I want you to look at this sort of like serene image. See how it says trust? And just know that if you trust, if you allow yourself to just relax and know that things are going to turn out the way they're supposed to, as long as you're aligning your intentions with your actions and making sure that you're not causing any friction just because people are testing your patience, everything will fall in place and you will move forward a lot more rapidly than if you had put a lot of thought and so on into, oh, you know, like, how am I going to do this? There's so much friction in my life. Know that where your thoughts go is where your energy flows. So make sure that you stay on your direction, that you stay on your path, and that you focus on this movement that is taking you forward. Even if it seems really quick and sometimes scary, it is important for you to know that when you focus on this jolt forward, on this movement forward, you will not regret it, okay? It's just like an amazing workout. Nobody has ever done an amazing workout and said like, oh, I really regret it. It may have been hard to get to that point, but at the end of the day, after you have completed it, you're like, wow, that was really great. I feel so much better and I'm happy that I did it. So see February as kind of having that vibe and take everything with that energy of, I may not want to do it now or see any sort of like reason in it now, but I know that I will be grateful and thankful for it at a very, you know, soon later kind of time. Not soon later, you know, like you're going to know very soon that you're thankful for it, but it's still happening like later. Very soon in the future, in the near future. Thank you, okay? In the near future. So group number 2, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful as well as motivational, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger Eye group number 3, and I want you to know that you sometimes need to kind of like calm down when you're a little much roar and not enough purr, okay? So I know the stone is called Tiger Eye, but we need a little bit more of that purr energy, if you will, group number 3. So very interesting start to your reading. Let's figure out what changes are coming in February of 2020 for you. So we have the Queen of Pentacles as well as the Ten of Pentacles. So the Pentacle energy corresponds to earth signs. So I want you to know here that things in the earthly realms are going to be affected in February of 2020. So what way are things in the earthly realms going to be affected in? Let me let you know, group number 3, they're going to be affected in the most amazing way. So I hope that you weren't holding your breath thinking that this might be a little bit of scary news. It is not at all scary news. I see here in the Ten of Pentacles, kind of like completion of things that you want in the earthly realms. I see you moving on to the next level when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your time management. And in the Queen of Pentacles, I see that you will do so by taking responsibility and accountability for your actions. So you will come to a realization that maybe you spend a little bit too much money online shopping. Maybe you spend a little bit too much time focusing on worrying about money instead of actually creating more financial abundance. And I see that that sort of shift mentally in your perception about how you see your time, your finances, the things in the earthly realms, your health, is going to actually make you move to the next upper level of your life, okay? Because a lot of times it's not so much about the action, it's just the initiation of thought. So obviously if you're stuck in old ways of thinking, like for instance thinking to yourself, I want to get healthier, but at the same time I really love junk food, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it. If you shift from that to, I do not like junk food, it is not good for me, that is not self-care, I'm actually going to start taking care of myself, then all of a sudden you shift from I don't know to I will, this is what I want. And then the action can follow with a lot less friction and a lot less resistance, okay? So that is one thing that I see here in the Queen of Pentacles as well as the Ten of Pentacles. Then we have the Nine of Swords as well as the Nine of Wands, okay? So one thing that I see here is that you're very, very close to taking really big and inspired action. That is one thing that I see in the Nine of Wands, but there's still a big wall in front of you. So this may have to do with love, or as I said, with your health, with your finances, you're really close to, say, starting that side hustle, to starting getting more healthier, to actually working out more, to actually spending more time organizing your life and your finances, but you're really scared. That is one thing that I see in the Nine of Swords. I see that you have a lot of worries, you have a lot of fears circulating around you, but group number 3, one thing that all of those worries and fears have in common is the fact that they're mental. So know that when things are just in your head, if all of these scenarios are just what if scenarios in your head, they cannot harm you, okay? Nothing can happen to you in the flesh and blood. And a lot of us forget this very often, but once you actually just look at fear, you know, and look at this big bad black cloud that is fear, that is your demons, and you just like strip it from everything, from its entire facade, then you all of a sudden notice that it's just a little thought, okay? What seemed so big is actually just a little speck of dust that you have mentally blown up into something that is way out of proportion. So once you come to that realization, you will think to yourself, "Huh, I can't even believe I was afraid of any of those things." Then we have the Fool as well as the Four of Swords. So just as we spoke about in the Fool, the sense of freedom when you all of a sudden take away all of the power that fear had over you in February of 2020, and you embrace this energy of the Fool. So the Fool is right here on a cliff, okay, as you can see here in the depiction, and the Fool is blissfully unaware of all of the danger that lurks here if she actually falls, you know, if she actually manages to take one wrong step. So this can be very beneficial, as you know, there is a lot of possibility in being blissfully unaware of maybe what you're doing wrong or any sort of danger, because then you can also accomplish a lot more because you're not caged, okay? You're not afraid. Fear is not keeping you from accomplishing a greatness. But of course, fear is also then gone, and which means that you may run into a situation that is difficult. You may run into a situation where you feel as though you have fallen, but all that is to gain is worth so much more than just staying confined in this little box that fear has provided you and said, like, okay, you can only move within this little cage and enclosure. Say no to that, group number 3. You don't need that in your life. Furthermore, in the Four of Swords, one thing that I see is really thinking deeply about your relationships, deeply about your connections, and who you spend your time with. In the Queen of Pentacles as well as the Ten of Pentacles, I see that moving forward in the earthly realms is not only moving forward when it comes to, say, money or health, but you will also reevaluate where you spend your time and who you do spend your time with, and who is worth it and who is maybe a friend who is only there when a good opportunity presents themselves. So sadly, there are a lot of people like that out here in the world. I have a lot of stories about that to share that I would like to, but I will not. And I know that you have probably gone through that as well, or are going through that. So one thing that I see here in the Seer is that you have to see beyond this current situation. So if there's a friend or a relationship in your life where you feel as though, well, you know, maybe I should give it another chance, maybe I shouldn't write it off, see beyond the current situation, see beyond where you are right now. Look, you know, just remove yourself from your body is what I'm trying to say. So if you're in your body right now, you're sitting there, you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, watching my video, obviously, doing whatever it is that you're doing, come on. So get out of your body. Sit across the room or wherever you are and look at yourself. Look at yourself contemplating about this relationship, about this friendship, and ask yourself, is it worth it? See beyond your current situation, your current physical body, and ask yourself, is this a connection that is still going to be here 20 years from now? Is this a connection that is giving you mutual love, understanding, and value? Or is this very one-sided? That is something that your spirits want you to really look at in February of 2020. In the Lord, one thing that I see here is that you have to take charge of the situation, and you have to do so in a very not aggressive way, but in a straightforward way. So in this situation here with this connection, with this relationship, situationships, whatever you would like to call it, if you want to mend it, you have to take charge. You have to talk to the person. You have to say, hey, what's up? I'm not cool with this. If you want to end it and you already know that this is most likely a toxic friendship with maybe somebody who has very narcissistic tendencies, somebody who does not want to see you win, then you have to take charge and just end it. You have to distance yourself. You have to put the relationship on hold for a little bit because it is not serving anybody. It is not serving you, obviously, and it is not serving them because you are enabling their behavior by remaining friends with them. Then we have Spring as well as the Lady. So one thing that I see here is the fact that you're able to start something new immediately, okay? I see that there's not going to be a lot of grief here if you decide to move on from this connection, as I see that everything is very fruitful, okay? There is a lot of possibility for a new situationship to evolve, and there is a lot of like growth that you've been going through in these past weeks and months where you can reap the rewards, okay? So you can reap the rewards of, say, more monetary income. You can reap the rewards of, say, for instance, mental health coming back, and that is just something that you're so much more excited about and focused on rather than somebody who is just stressing you out. Then we have Wonders, Success, as well as Security. So group number 3, your reading is exceptionally favorable when it comes to the earthly realm. So you may find kind of like money or an extra check, just like extra income, something extra in the earthly realms that you didn't expect is coming towards you in February of 2020. And I see that that will give you a little bit of security in your acts of manifesting and believing in higher powers, because you will come to a point where you're like, hello, universe, God, law of attraction, like show me a sign that you're really here and that you really hear me. And I definitely see that that will be successful. I see that you will feel deeply connected with your spirituality, whatever it is that you believe in. As you guys know, this channel is all inclusive, so it doesn't matter what you believe in, but I definitely see here that you will be blessed with wonders. You will be blessed with unexpected things coming to you that you can physically see, feel, and touch, that will allow you to know that you are in fact on the right path, that you are in fact doing what you're meant to do, and that will give you little signals along the way to let go of fears, and that show you when things are worth worrying about and when things are absolutely not worth worrying about. So I definitely see divine guidance coming for you, group number 3. So I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it gave you clarity as well as insight. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Orchid Calcite, group number 4. So first and foremost, I want to talk to you about this stone and just do a quick little close-up. It is such a gorgeous mineral. I absolutely love it. So this is a stone that gives you life, that gives you power, that gives you zest to keep going. So if you've been feeling a little depressed, maybe a little low on energy, that may be why your body has jolted you forward towards picking this stone instead of one of the other stones. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what changes are coming for you. So we have the Ace of Cups as well as the Star. So group number 4, one thing that I see here in these two cards is the fact that there is a lot of sort of like new energy here when it comes to forming relationships. So there is a great possibility for you meeting somebody romantically if that is something that you would like. And if you're in a relationship that is going towards a turbulent time, this can be romantic, this can be platonic, I definitely see hope on the horizon, okay? I see a light at the end of the tunnel, and you actually coming to a point in February where you think to yourself, yes, you know what, maybe all of this fighting, maybe all of this just continuous believing and praying has actually been worth it. Then we have Strength pop out of the cards, okay? So one thing that I see here in Strength is the fact that this will just show you just truly how strong you are, okay? February of 2020 is going to give you the validation that all of the strength that you have kind of been forced to put into your life, everything that you have had to go through and where you have had to like show the universe and people around you that you're stronger than they would have ever expected is worth it. You're going to see exactly why you were put in certain situations, and you will know that what really makes you strong is the fact that you don't need to look around and blame other people for things that have happened to you, but instead you push through. Instead, you look for anything that is amazing. You look for the positives, and you look to start afresh with yourself instead of allowing situations that are already bygones to still affect you in the present day. So I definitely see that there is a lot of hope coming towards you in the form of, say, a potential new romantic relationship. This could also be in the form of just like a connection where you feel like this is meant to be, okay? A new venture kind of starting. Then we have the King of Cups. So this connection that may enter your life, group number 4, could be a water sign. You know, cups are connected to water signs. And I want you to know here that the King of Cups is somebody who is emotionally very intelligent and mature, but at the same time, they're not going to deal with anybody screwing around with them, okay? So should I even be saying that? Never mind. Okay, group number 4, one thing that I see here is just the fact that you're kind of over that. You've been through so much in your life where anybody who tries to play you or play your emotions is going to definitely feel the wrath. That is one kind of mood that I see for February of 2020. Furthermore, in the moon, I see that you're relying more than ever on your intuition. Before, you used to really listen to what people said and you believed them, but something in you is just going to switch. Something in you is going to change fundamentally to where you look at the actions that they take, you look at what they end up doing, and that is what you base your decisions on. And that is one thing that I see here in the moon as well as the King of Cups. You're not okay with people promising you things and then just believing it's going to happen. You're not going to allow yourself to be disappointed like that anymore. If you want to get something, you're going to go get it for yourself instead of relying on somebody else. And if someone tells you that this is what they're going to do for you, then you wait for them to perform before you actually put your love and your faith into the situation. Then we have the Magic Guardian as well as the Shaolin Master. Okay, so one thing that I see here in the Magic Guardian is the fact that in February of 2020, you will be able to unlock more magic from within. So what does that mean? I truly believe that we all have magic within us. We all have this sort of ability to create and to form a reality that is beautiful, as well as to put things out into the world that just show how strong we are. And in strength, I mean strong as in empathetic. I mean strong as in allowing nothing to change you but you and your positive intentions. So when things happen in the world, you don't allow the world to change you. You stay strong in your belief that you can change the world. And that is one thing that I see here in the Shaolin Master. The fact that people are looking to you and thinking, wow, this person puts so much thought into their action. This person is so strong. This person is so courageous. I would like to be more like them. So I definitely see inspiring energy oozing out from your body, from your plane, group number 4, and that is something that people really love and are attracted to you for. But there could also be, as I said, the wrong people who are attracted to you, that you will just sniff that out really quickly, group number 4. Then we have the 6 of Pentacles. So I definitely see kind of like a balance in the earthly realms. I see that not much needs to be done when it comes to your financial situation, when it comes to your health. I see that you're on the right track, and you may think to yourself that you could do better, which I feel like we all always feel like we can do better in life. And that is fine, but I see that you just also kind of need to chill a little bit. I see that it's a good time for you to reflect on what you have already accomplished, because there is a tendency here for you to think to yourself, crap, I'm not where I've wanted to be, say, financially. And if you made it to this point in the video, leave a little money bag emoji down below to let me know. So you may think to yourself, yeah, I'm not where I want to be financially. I'm not really on my way to the freedom that I want when it comes to my time, my finances, my health. But group number 4, it's so important for you in February of 2020 to not fall into that depressed pit, because trust me, I've been there before, where I'm only focusing on what I have not yet accomplished. But I want you to do something different. I want you to learn from my mistake without having to first make the mistake, which is why I'm letting you know exactly what you should do. And what you should do is focus on everything that you have accomplished in the past 10, 20, 30 years, if you're even 30 years old, and think to yourself like, hey, I've done so much these past years, and focus on how far you've come. Focus on how many obstacles you've conquered, how many difficult times you have been able to come out on top in and truly make a change for yourself and other people. So focus on what you have accomplished so far instead of what is yet to come. Then we have the drum, we have the trader, we have the Lord, as well as the moon. So I see that the moon is going to have a vast impact on your life in February of 2020, group number 4. So obviously, you need to look into exactly how the lunar phases, how the moon is going to impact your sign and what you can do about it in order to remain in a harmonious state. Furthermore, in the drum, one thing that I see here is a lot of daydreaming, okay, a lot of actual dreams. So keep a little journal next to your bed, keep a little journal that can serve you as kind of like a dream diary where you write down your dreams every time you wake up and you still remember a little something. As I can see here, that it's very important for you to figure out what you're dreaming about, because it may be impacted by the media that you consume, say right before bed or in the evening hours. So be a bit more cautious about what you're listening to. For instance, for me, if I'm watching a crime show and I fall asleep to it at night, trust me, my nightmares are gonna be bloody, they're not gonna be pretty, and I'm gonna wake up in a cold night sweat. So pay attention to that and try and figure out how you can make your sleep, your health improve just by figuring out exactly what is affecting those different parts of your life. Then in the trailer, one thing that I see here is that there is a possibility here to exchange energy in order to create abundance, and you have to authoritatively do that. You have to make sure that you authorize that to happen. So what do I mean by that, group number 4? I know it sounds so mysterious. So one thing that I see here is the fact that you can exchange your energy to the universe in order to receive abundance if you put that energy towards the universe. Because a lot of us, we put a lot of our energy towards negativity, okay? Towards complaining, towards comparison, towards talking about things that are not going to push us forward and that are not going to make us better. So of course, everybody likes a little bit of gossip, a little bit of, you know, negative talk has never killed anybody. I totally get it. Sometimes you have to just be the victim for 5 minutes, and sometimes you just have to vent for a little 5 minutes, and that is completely fine. But it is important for you to give yourself a time limit. When you want to vent, tell yourself, I will vent as hard as I can for 5 minutes, but then move on, okay? Exchange that energy and all of that drive and passion that you had about something that you were annoyed about. Exchange that for energy where you can actually put it into something that signalizes to the universe, like, I'm ready to receive abundance. Because instead of putting, say, 5 hours of my day thinking about how this annoying person cut in front of me on the road or in a line to get a hot dog, whatever it is that annoyed you, instead of spending all this time as I usually would moaning about it and thinking, oh, what the things I could have said to that person. So instead of doing that, you are now going to give it 5 minutes. Be annoyed for 5 minutes if you even need 5 minutes. Maybe you have more self-control than me, for instance. And then the rest of the energy, channel that towards fueling yourself, channel that towards motivating yourself, towards affirming how amazing you are to yourself, towards writing in your journal what you're going to accomplish and just how grateful you are for all the opportunities in your life. And signalize this way to the universe that you're ready for abundance, because you're not wasting time, you're not wasting any of your energy on things that are less than positive and things that are less than useful. You're just focusing completely on what makes sense, okay? Then we have taking risks as well as embracing. So one thing that I see here in February of 2020 is that you're a lot more inclined to take risks, and that is great because a lot of us try to kind of stay in our comfort zone, in this place where we feel safe, and I see that for you, it is safe to take risks. I want you to embrace that fully. There's a reason why these cards showed up within your reading, group number 4, and it is probably because you do not get out of this comfortable space, because you do not get out of this safe zone where risks are a rarity. You don't get out of that often enough. So do this in February of 2020. It is safe for you to do as long as you focus always on the successes along the way of taking risks instead of focusing on any obstacles that will be there. Because let's be real, when you want to accomplish great things in life, there will always be challenges, there will always be obstacles, but you do not need to put your energy towards that. And that is what makes you different, group number 4. You're not going to put your energy towards that. You know that it's not worth it, and you're just going to kind of be the bigger, more emotionally intelligent person in February of 2020, which is a change from how things have been going so far. So not to call you out or say anything negative, but I do see that emotionally you have been letting things affect you more than you should. But February of 2020 is kind of like the I don't care moment, is kind of like the I'm gonna do what's best for me moment, and anything that is negativity, anything that doesn't serve me or this planet, doesn't have space in my plane. So that's the vibe that I'm getting. I'm getting very strong energy from you, group number 4. So embrace it and make the most of it in February. So group number 4, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it insightful. Let me know what really hit home and what you plan on practicing, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.